Welcome to Politricks Watch. This is Sir B. Now, today I'm going to be talking about or giving a brief history because it's long and drawn out, but just to keep it somewhat interesting, I will kind of compress it just so we don't lose focus. I try to keep it to the main events, some of the bigger things that go down. There's always a whole small details along the way. As I say, make us keep it, or at least try and keep it interesting. You see, Patreon squad requests. A wagwan with the world spread and his estranged son, Pepsi, aka Puss in Boots. Right. That's the DJ we somehow know as Aidonia. Right. Speaking about Patreon squad, look out for a video to drop. Right. Either slightly before this one or a little bit after. That is going to be an exclusive part, so check out that one. Right. And during this week, you're going to hear more recordings drop again. So, as I said, right, let me give you a little understanding, right, as to how the world spread and his estranged son, right, would come to basically be enemies. Before we go into it, let's do some calculations so this all makes sense. Right. Let's take a look at the theory of special relativity. Now, you should know this states that E equals mc squared. E is for energy, m is for mass, c is for the speed of light. Right? It's referred to as a c, right, because it's coming from the Latin word celeritas. Right? So that's the speed of light squared, and you get energy. But basically, right, energy and mass can swap around. Right? They're just different forms of the same thing. Sounds complex, but that's basically what it boils down to. Right? Energy and mass are interchangeable. Right? But that's the formula them teaching in a school. I'm giving you something where them never teach but them should have teach you. This formula can help you work out, right, why you see enough crew fall apart. This equation is BE equal MM times 2. So remember you have the theory of special relativity, which is E equal mc squared, but now we have BE equal MM times 2. B is bad, E is energy, and MM is mama man. So now you see, right, the equation. Bad energy equal mama man times 2. Not MM squared, right? Not mama man squared, because one mama man squared is still one mama man. I'm talking about mama man times 2. So 2 of them. So now you can see, wherever more than one mama man there, at the same time, some foolishness bound to start. Effeminate males are a threat to national security, and their constant thirst for attention and their unstable emotional intelligence means they cannot maintain any kind of peace with other males. This is why even the most simplest of issues turn crews man and man apart from them head and them knee, right, into all-out enemies. Right. Notice not for your favorite celebs then, right? Not for your favorite crews, your favorite artists, and you can't live good. And always a beef over some nonsense. The fragile ego of the mama man, right, make it almost impossible for any kind of peace exists, and as me say, more than one of them around. Right. The third you know as Aidonia, aka Pepsi, aka Puss in Boots. Right. This formula will help you understand how him and the world spread end up with them there. You see, Puss in Boots was once a young, right, and talented DJ who was considered by many to be a lyricist. Of course, that was a long time ago. Right? Now he's a nursery rhymes type of DJ. Right? He makes the same repetitive song, right, that hits for like 6 months, and then the repetitive nature of the song make them unbearable, and then end up get tossed in the scrap heap. But as me say, it hit for like 5-6 months. Fun fact, did you know, right, that Puss in Boots is also a YouTuber? Yes, we have channel too. Channel have 4,000 subscribers. I guess he thought YouTube was easy and he was just going to jump on us and break all kind of records. Puss in Boots and stay work. Lazy mid-tier artist turn lazy mid-tier YouTuber. I suppose that's still better than me, because obviously I'm a little YouTuber. Right? So mid-tier is still above my level. But I'm just saying, for big artists, remember how DJs just talk down to YouTubers, especially little YouTubers like me. And make it sound like YouTuber does something easy, or just drop pan and does. Anybody can do it, including them. Right? Well, Puss in Boots. These numbers are me and see so. No matter for your best performing video, I guarantee you this video will surpass it by the end of the week. Now, you already knew Pepsi was more sheltered than the Alpha Tree bus terminal, but he was obsessed with being a bad man, and he want people afraid of him. You know them people who just love the idea of people afraid of them. And this is a youth who is known for practicing in the mirror, him going in the glass, him see him try practicing in tough guy image. But it just wasn't believable. Especially people in the community. Then you say like, Pepsi, what you do? This is not you, bro. Anywhere him could find an 87. Willing to power around him, willing to take him money and walk back on him. He would start mind him and play it down. Of course, you should know by now, he would end up start power with somebody who he won't admit this, but clearly he wanted to be like. And that is a strange father. None other than the world spread. See, nowadays he pretend like he don't know him. Nowadays he pretend like the world spread had no impact on his life. Typical. You know them type there? 1 minute they must say, oh, the man over there saw me general. The next minute them go on like, you ask them about the person, them never hear about the person yet. We know it's a unicorn meet. Because back in the day, it was a complete different story. Remember, he uttered the infamous words, I am my daddy who want vex. Right? It's a bold statement. Do you know how much you have to idolize a man to go in a studio and make a song saying he's your daddy? That's going to live as long as speakers and radio and headphones exist. See, at the time, there's a lot of turmoil in the music, as usual, but them time that it was real bad. World spread, start diss up the alliance. Puss in Boots was seen as a capable songwriter back then. So the world spread, getting him in and turn him against the alliance. That way, it will be one less songwriter to deal with. At the time, Puss in Boots was seen as like the next version of the world. He was like, you have somebody who's like, like you have a footballer, and then they're like, oh, one next baller, we're singing like him, he might be the next thing. That's how people are hype Puss in Boots at the time. Of course, this did not materialize, because as we know, he actually regressed. Now, as we say, makes nursery rhymes, and he's just another DJ, in a big pool of other DJs, when based on the potential he had, he could have been considered among the elites. So as me say, Real Sprat trick him, gas him up, make it sound like the two of them was going to be, some kind of team, and the man gonna like take over the dance hall. Puss in Boots believed the sweet talk, just like I am. See, what he didn't know is Real Sprat will make a power with him, sing song and all kind of things, but nobody is allowed to shine brighter than him. They are only allowed to be bridesmaids, metaphorically speaking. Pepsi started hanging around the World Sprat and his many 87s, He loved this part of it. That was one thing that drew him towards the World Sprat, because him love the 87, then him loved around the badness, and World Sprat always surrounded by all type of gunman. They would even interchange 87s, like a man who that one originally we get introduced to the other one, and then the man start 187 now start linked with the two man them and all kind of things. But Puss in Boots was always being teased by the Portmore youth them, the Portmore Empire youth them. Always a tease him, because they could tell him just don't fit in. So but tell them, say Puss in Boots get good growing. Puss in Boots no wrong for right. Him just choose for the wrong. That's why so much crosses follow back on him. And every chance the youth them they run the rush back get them with Mark. Puss in Boots, because remember, Puss in Boots have the biggest talk. If you ever hear Puss in Boots talk, it has swear set. Right? It's the reincarnation, right, of Genghis Khan. And the way Puss in Boots talk, that thing say, like, forget about Alexander the Great and them, and them not have nothing on it. Puss in Boots is like the monster of all monsters. So him talk. So every time something used to happen, right, and his reaction or his action don't match that, the man them used to give him hell. Puss in Boots never like this. Speaking of toughing up himself, here's another incident. There are many. Okay, I'm going to all them today. But Puss in Boots have a brother named Love. You might know him as Lalo. That youth nearly dead after an event at UTech back in the day. All because he allowed Puss in Boots hype to fly up in his head. He nearly lose P-Moon. They say them a left UTech and the place ram up with traffic. You know, the typical Ironman style. Pure bad behavior, pure driving, pure bad driving. The man no want move, all kind of things. Pepsi them, right, inner the whole chaos. Right, meaning for them vehicle them, they about 3 car load of them apart. You know it got already be a man. Right. Them entourage, man a one man catch up, right, over the same car argument, who for move car. Right. Everybody start talk bad in a Puss in Boots entourage because them outnumber the man. You know it got already when artists are improve apart, everybody move out of the way because if a boy ever, and you know she say me a power the general and move. Love, or Lalo, who knows say he couldn't win a fist fight with a gingy fly, right, make hype get up in him head. Right? Cause him a power with him brother who a DJ, you know. Be a car with that man. Jump out of the car, start going bad. Remember, you know, his brother is quote unquote Lord Evil. Right? And you know, anything happen, him a go help him. Love end up lick the man car, the way him a go on wicked out there. Love end up start going like him as some kind of monster. And the man, right, must cookie monster. Right, lick all the man car and I go on the most way. The man jump out of him car the last. Right. Love take off like a NASA rocket. Right. But in pants. Telling about them pants there, you know. Right. I don't know how man say them a bad man and them a this and them a that and then can't even run 100 meters down the road because them pants. Right. That's a good pan them. Right. So, him a run and the man a run him down. The pants go drop him. Right. The man catch up to Love. Right as the man was going to split his head wide open, Love threw up him on, reflex move, you know that guy already. Right. To stop it. Right. He came within inches of losing his hand and him head. Right. But it looked like the last, it dull. A town man lost. You know, say town man lost normally dull, you know. Right. If a country man lost, right, it would walk right through. Flesh, bone and everything. Right. So now, Love did it. Right. A battle for film life. The man now I try go again. Right. To finish him start. Man, it's another man. Right. You know, save Love at the last minute. But I'm gonna make a video about that, separate video. Right. Now remember, you know, Puss in Boots, they didn't have the whole part chatting. Right. Lord Evil are going the most way. Man. Where was Lord Evil when this was going down? Well, he was in the car having a panic attack. Have you ever seen somebody have a panic attack? Right, YouTube it, and you know what it look like. People are short to him and say the man down there killed Love. Puss in Boots stuck in him seat. Me never know say urine have glue because it make it stuck to his seat as his bro was getting butchered. Right. Now, luckily for Pepsi, Lalo need the work. Right, so you might put those stuff that hold that inside and go on like in a bother him to this day. Right, a matter of fact, if you ask him, he might tell you, say, I don't say it come on just because, but I say he need the work. Right, and the clout. Obviously, being able to tell people, say, no, see me a Puss in Boots brother, that come with its own perks. Right. So, Lalo, Right? It's still around to this day. Anyway, back to the beef. So now, Pepsi is embarrassed because him start to realize the World Sprite claim, right, like some kind of pawn. Right? World Sprite was never going to deal nothing with no Pepsi. He was focusing on the Portmore Empire. And before now, I hear about Gaza and Berlin, and probably I hear about the Devil Brats and them. And I talk about the early days of the team. Pepsi don't make it known. Say, Adi, I'm a daddy, and burn bridges with alliance. And back then, depending on which side you take, certain man now work with you. Then time they even select have a side. And then they, depending on who you are linked with, certain man now, you can't play a certain party, you can't go a certain way. So now Pepsi was a bit isolated because him and the alliance, man, him don't make him speech already for side him take. And now him daddy, and I treat him like a jacket pin. Man and man start make talk, so word start get back to man. As I say, anyway, two mama man there. Some foolishness have to go on. Pepsi, right, would end up openly this is a strange father. Remember, Pepsi have a song named Big Matic Now Laugh, where him say, target me, shoot me, and miss off her, clap it up, Adi head get lick off her. Start make talk say, the World Sprite must clash him. He have a certain amount of time to respond to the song and he need to clash him and show who is who. Now, World Sprite did always see himself as several levels above Pepsi. Right? And he did even go as far as to say, an MTV interview one time say, Puss in Boots was desperate and he's drowning, man, clutching at straw and him confused because one minute him say, my father, and the next minute him say this, man. As me said, that song, Adi, I'm a daddy, that song with Pepsi, I believe to regret because it basically gives the World Sprite the ultimate trump card. Right? You're on record stating you are my son. Plus to mention some little fool thing. I said, enough of them things are some little egotistical, hyper-emotional mama man thing would even make sense. At one point, Pepsi and Movada end up living at the same year. That's why Sprite said, me know where you live because Pepsi your next door neighbor. You know what song. Man. And I say, yo, when you live next, him and the man start linking. Like when schoolgirl argue, oh, I saw her talking to him, and I saw her talking to, I see him in the man in my parade. There were even physical altercations in the Pepsi and Sprite beef. Couple of World Sprite 87s and we woke up. Some of Pepsi youth them, a tropical plaza. I mashed them up real bad. One of the youth them named Icon, and although he probably should change his name to Victim because that is what the man name turned him into that day. And it's called complete foolishness. Let me tell you, enough of these things not even warranted for. It's just ego and emotions, and the man does not have no form of emotional intelligence. But the reality is that Pepsi was always living in the shadow of his father. People just say, yeah, the next this and the next that. That's why I remember one time Kartel and World Sprite did fall out after the street vibe drum thing. When that link mash up, Kartel they try to recreate it with Puss in Boots with another product. Remember that? Never really worked the same though. So that was always doomed to fail because Pepsi never had the momentum that the Gaza did have. So him couldn't sell a water to a thirsty camel. But Mr. Pepsi was always seen as a good artist who makes some hit songs here and there, but he never had the cult-like following where Gaza or Gully did have. So what kind of unicorn does Kartel Dasmo when he thinks that Pepsi was going to make nobody buy anything, right? He simply doesn't have the gravitas. Speaking of Kartel, I'm going to remake a video. Remake one time. Right? But I never put enough effort in it when I should because at the time I was an extra little YouTuber. Right? And I never really put as much effort into my videos. Like no, them time them just start just talk about one thing and then done this one. No, right. I have to document certain things. So the rise and fall of Street Vybz rum. Look out for that. Right. But as I said, the equation still stands. BE equals MM times 2. Pepsi and the world spread. Father and son. Now, this is what I have to say. I'm no world spread a tune in. I'm fans him. Yo, you go like say. Mr. Fan who say my bad mind him artist. Your favorite artist in Mr. Video. And him and Wally I look forward to him. Because I know say him look to see what go on with the Roger video and them video. But you know I'm all about timing. Forgive him world spread. For you know not what he has done. Forgive Pepsi. Forgive Puss in Boots. You don't even need to link back. I know he stepped out of line. Right? I know the boy in a sense. But forgive him. I want to link back. Because I have a video, right, or more, right, drop. But in order for it really hit or more want it hit, it won't have a link. Right? So they're gonna constantly, right. Now that's when I link, it not gonna hit the same. So I'm needing to link and then we can like. You see what I say? So just forgive him, because I may know same nonsense. Because if he did have sense, he would ask himself the question. If my father and Theme, right, massive cult-like following, right, couldn't stop the PIA, who the hell am I? That's what he should have asked himself if he did have sense. And as you know, he might have no quote-unquote bad man probably now. And of course, me the man in my ball. I say from Pepsi style link around them might be a things that go on. You know, Zaba ball. Come on, that pressure. You know, between me and still hitting my ball now. Wait till them see what gonna happen. In the future when time the real thing them start drop on the channel. Anyway, I go to one of the writers up now. Patreon squad, big up on yourself. Yeah, you don't know, more life. Ultra squad, stay circling. Bless.